Welcome to another episode of the Story of Podcast. I'm your host, Kwam, and today we're going to hear the story of
Drizzy Drell.
Drizzy Drell. Welcome to my show. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm actually I'm on cloud nine right now a little bit. So
Good. How come?
Well, actually, I had a performance not too long ago on Monday at the Terminal 110 New Haven. Shout out CEO Chief and Munchie Events for hosting it. It was a birthday event for Chief and Toya's Hot Floor. So shout out to them for having me. I've been rocking with them for a couple months now, doing like showcases and stuff like that. And like they've just been helping me perfect my craft and just like work on my stage presence and shit, like really be comfortable performing in front of a crowd. And Monday was probably like my biggest crowd yet, and probably my best performance yet. So shout out to them.
Good. So do you feel like you're just getting better each time?
Yeah, I feel like every time I go up there, it just becomes more and more natural. I remember the first couple of times I was doing it, I was like beyond nervous. Like, you can imagine what you're gonna do when you go in front of people, but then when you're actually in front of people, it's like okay, like you get Star Trek a little bit if you're not really used to it. So I had to just get used to it, knock the jitters off a little bit, and now it's just like it's fun now. I love performing. I love going up in front of people and showing off my craft and saying just like people giving you positive feedback towards it. It's the best part. So
yeah. And for the viewers, what is your craft? Like, tell them who you are, what you do, stuff like that.
All right. So basically, I'm an artist. I make music. I do it all really. I'm more of like a melodic artist. I like stuff that gets you singing or dancing, and just make you stuff with soul in it, stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much my style. I try to stray away a little bit from what everybody else does and try to kind of like do my own thing and be my own person and like really show off my own like individualism and stuff like that. And
yeah. When did you start making music?
I started making music probably about like maybe 3 years ago. I always been into music. I just never really had the connections to like the right people to go to start like recording and stuff like that. So my friends started going to a studio. Shout out Small City Studios. Shout out Chase. Shout out Ty. That's where I go and I record now mainly. But they started going to them, and slowly but surely, like we all started. I have a big friend group, so we all started going to them at the same time. And I just fell in love with the process of going to the studio, making a song, and just perfecting it and making sure that it sounds the way you want it to sound. And having it come out the same way that you envision it to come out is like the best feeling. So I just fell in love with that. I just fell in love with writing music and recording my own stuff and being original with everything I do and stuff like that. So
what's your writing process?
Well, it depends. Like I done wrote songs in a day, and then it took me a couple months to write songs. Like sometimes it just depends on the mood, the feeling. I could be in a bad mood, just pull out my phone and just start typing stuff, and then I end up writing the whole verse or something like that. Or I could be sad and maybe think about it a couple of days later, like the situation a couple of days later, and then start writing about it, stuff like that. So the process, it varies. Sometimes it's different than other times, but when I really feel like I have something good, are the songs that I could that I record, like I write down, and then I just go to the studio right away and record them because I'm that confident in that. So those usually are the best ones.
Yeah. Where do you, and with my show, I usually like to talk about people's lives and stuff like that. But before I get into the past, just one more question about current. Where do you get your creativity or your inspiration for when you write stuff? Besides going through stuff, I don't know, how does it manifest for you?
Well, I grew up in a music household. My whole family loves music. I grew up watching a lot of the Temptations movies, stuff like that. Like a lot of biopics and stuff on different lives of people, famous people. and just studying, you know, like their work ethic, and you know, just watching all the stuff they went through, and how they overcame to become, you know, the icons that they are now, that we see them as now. So I kind of just, you know, over the years, you know, as I got older and stuff, kind of just honed those skills and kept them, you know, to mind, because, you know, I haven't been doing music my whole life, so I just really started, but I've always been into it. I've always envisioned myself actually recording and actually, you know, actually performing. You know, it's just been a long time coming. So, yeah, you know, I grew up in a family, a household. You know, everybody loves music. You know, I grew up studying, you know, a lot of icons, and you know, just, you know, keeping, you know, their work ethic in mind. You know, especially starting out doing music now, I keep all that in mind, and I just want to, you know, do what they did to get to, you know, get to the top or whatever. As far as I can go with it.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up right here in Bloomfield, Connecticut. I was born in Hartford Hospital, raised in Bloomfield, Connecticut. Never claimed to be from Hartford anywhere. You know,
like some people from
Bloomfield. You know, I'm from Bloomfield. You know what I'm saying? I went to preschool in Bloomfield. You know, first through high school. So, yeah, from Bloomfield. So.
Yeah. And did you grow up with like siblings, or your only child?
So I have a sister. We have different mothers, but basically, you know, I do remember a time before she was, you know, born. That's how far apart we are. She was born when I was 7. So, and she's a Cali baby. So she was born in California. So she was born, you know, a lot of sun, and I was born in January, you know, in the middle of a winter storm. So yeah.
And you're an Aquarius, right?
Yes.
So when's your birthday? January what?
23rd.
Oh, okay. Do you feel like, I don't know if you know much about astrology and the signs and stuff, do you feel like January Aquarius are different than February Aquarius? Because I'm a February Aquarius, so that's why I asked.
I feel like January Aquarius are more like we're more like outspoken. I would say. I feel like we're more like vocal than February Aquarius. You guys are more like, you will feel the same way about something, but you guys will be more sneaky about how you react to it.
Why is you're the second person today that categorized my sign as sneaky?
Yeah, I don't know what it is about y'all February. I know I grew up with a couple of February Aquariuses, and it's just like, I grew up with both, so I was able to, you know, and plus myself obviously, and I'm able to, like, you know, compare. And I just feel like, you know, a lot of February Aquariuses, I feel like you guys always handle your situation differently than a January Aquarius would. We get vocal, and, you know, we speak our mind a lot. I feel like you guys speak your mind, but you won't really do the back and forth. You just let them know, you know. And I feel like that's where that stereotype of Aquarius come from. Like, oh, you guys don't even do that because of y'all. Like, because the James be like me, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm gonna get my point across some way or the other. Like, you won't hear it, but I know a couple favorite Aquariuses, they won't say nothing to you, and it's the scariest thing ever. So,
yeah, that'd be me. I'm like, okay.
We can be like that too every now and then. Like January Aquarius, we could be quiet, silent, and deadly, but we're gonna be vocal first. Like, you're gonna hear us first. You guys are just gonna bet.
Yeah. Have you always been like a really vocal person? Have you always been like outspoken, outgoing? Or are you growing into that?
Yes and no. I can say when I was younger, I used to ask a lot more questions, and then probably, you know, just go with the flow or whatever was thrown at me. I feel like as I got older, I started, you know, really asking questions, but taking my time, as you know, and really just like analyzing before I ask, listening before I react. Still kind of working on that, but I feel like as I've gotten older, I've gotten much more vocal, and you know, just letting, you know, just making myself be heard and how I feel, and expressing my feelings and stuff like that. So even with stuff like this, like, you know what I'm saying, like, if I was younger, I probably wouldn't be able to do this, but you know, just as you get older, you learn how to, you know,
step out your comfort zone, you know?
Comfort zone, exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
And I feel like for what you've been doing, because I follow you on Instagram and I see you like doing your things every Monday, and like I'm sure you do other like stuff too. Like, I don't know, it's kind of just goes hand in hand to just
Yeah.
be outgoing for real. Like to go on stage in front of people.
Yeah, and I've definitely, you know, these past couple of months, been put in front of a lot of different people. You know, a lot of different connections that, you know, a year ago I never really saw myself doing. I haven't really, you know, I haven't performed solo since this year. You know, I started out with a bunch of other people, you know, my friend group and stuff like that. And you know, we did like 1 or 2 performances together, and it was like, you know, a whole year and some change before I ever like stepped back on the stage. And I always ask myself, like, you know, when would I, you know, get my time to go up there by myself?
Yeah.
And I realized, you know, it's not as easy as you think. So that's why, you know, I've really been using that opportunity to just really perfect and, you know, display my craft for everybody, and, you know, in the most comfortable way possible. So I figured, you know, the most comfortable way possible is to just go up there and just do it. So once I learned that, it became easier and easier, and it's still, you know, becoming easier as we go, you know. So
yeah.
So.
Do you have like a, like, not like a self-care routine, I can't think of the word, like a routine pretty much before you go on stage or before you're gonna perform? Or even before you're gonna record?
Shoot, well, not really. I'm a regular dude. You know, I show up to the studio. You know, me and my engineer, you know, we chop it up a little bit. You know, 'cause we real cool, we real tight, and then we get to it. We do, you know, record what we gotta record. You know what I'm saying, and then work on whatever else. There's no real, like, you know, special routine. Like, I don't, you know, be meditating or nothing, but, you know.
Not like that, but like. Yeah, I don't even know how to like explain what I was trying to say, but
no, I
just
just
show up.
Like, yeah, no, so, like, you know, I pray before I go on stage. You know,
Okay.
I like to, you know, I'm real heavy on that. So, anything I do in front of, that's going to be in front of anybody. You know, when I play sports, pray before every game, every practice. You know, just pray, and just visualize and manifest, I guess. You know, that's
What
all
sport did you play?
Play football my whole life until I played up until college, but, you know, college was weird. So, but
did you go to college?
Yeah, I went to Central Connecticut State University.
Okay. Did you graduate?
Yeah, I graduated in 21 with my sociology degree and a minor in psychological science. So.
Nice. Do you feel like that helps you at all in like your career that you're going into now?
As far as dealing with people, yeah, and you know, just understand who you're dealing with and who you're talking to in certain situations. You know, how to go about stuff. You know, some people you can't talk to, like you can talk to some other people. You know, some people are more sensitive than other people. Some people can, you know, some people can take, you know, more harsh, you know, things than other people. So you gotta just understand who you're talking to and who you're confronting in that certain time. So it definitely helps. Yeah.
How would you describe yourself? Are you someone, not to say that you're sensitive, but do you feel like you're someone who can take like constructive criticism? Would you, like, how are you in that way?
All right, so I'm an Aquarius, so I'm gonna read what's in front of me. So I can read off a person's vibe on whether like something is constructive, whether they're trying to put me in my place, or whether they're trying to, like, you know, be funny. You know what I'm saying? So I can read. I feel like I have more of a trigger towards when I can see someone trying to be funny, and I automatically just, like, whatever the advice you're trying to give is just, it's not credible. You know what I'm saying? I'm not listening to you at all.
Yeah.
It has been times where I have, you know, there's people I trust, you know, that I will allow to talk to me any kind of way, because I'm gonna take it as, if they didn't care, they wouldn't be here in the first place. And that's how I look at it, as when I look out for people. If I didn't care, I wouldn't say anything to you in the first place. And that's really what it comes down to. But I can say it depends on how I read it. So you know, lately it's been a lot more constructive rather than, you know, nothing harsh, but constructive. Try this, you know, work on this, work on that. And, you know, especially with the performances I've been using, you know, shout out my boy Tempo Genius. You know, he been doing the music thing for a while now. So when I started performing and stuff like that, you know, he do the same showcases, and he you know, he came up to me one day. He was like, yo, you know, your music tough, but yo, like, nobody can see your eyes. You know, you're not. Your face is not in the crowd. People are not connecting with you. For me, it's gonna be and it was a real thing. You know, I went back, and every little piece of advice I take, and then you know I hone it for the next performance.
Yeah.
So every performance gets better and better and better.
Mm-hmm.
So ever since he told me that, I've been connected with the crowd. You know, talking to the crowd like throughout songs and stuff like that. Stopping songs to talk to the crowd. You know, it gets. You know what I'm saying? It gets really fundamental when it comes to it. So yeah.
I feel the same way. Like just with doing my podcast and stuff. Like I definitely have had like constructive criticism from others or even from myself, just watching it back and be like, all right, I could tweak this, I could tweak that. Like I feel like this time recording is one of my best so far. Like I got the right angles, the right lighting and everything, and it's just because of, like you said, every time it gets better and better. You know?
Yep. You just gotta keep perfecting your craft. You know, you gotta be open to constructive criticism, because if nobody's keeping it real with you, then you could stay on the same level forever, and you never progress.
Facts.
So you need that constructive criticism so you can grow.
Yeah, from the right people.
From the right people. You need the right people that's gonna break you down and help you build.
Yeah.
Not just break you down and be like, good luck. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have some real supportive people in your circle when you want to do this stuff, because it gets really emotional.
Yeah.
Whether it's music, whether it's podcasts, whatever it is that you're putting out to the world, you're always gonna have that criticism that's gonna come back to you as to whether you're doing the right thing, whether you're doing the wrong thing. People just hating just to hate.
Yeah.
So you gotta be able to take that punch to the mouth every time, man, and just keep going. You know what I'm saying? And you know that's what it's all about for real.
Are you like a harsh critic to yourself?
Yeah, because a lot of times I would get, positive feedback and stuff, and I think people are trying to play with me, or like they're not really serious about it, or they're just, they know me, so they're being nice.
Yeah,
it's Connecticut, so like somebody could really, really not like you and not support what you're doing. It could be the best thing ever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying like, not tooting my horn and saying that my music does. I'm just saying, somebody could really be, everywhere with their music, and somebody would not like you and not support you because they don't, they know you, they don't like you.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's an element of CT that really messes up everybody when it comes to, just being supportive and just helping each other out, get to where we want to be in life and stuff like that. So
I even find sometimes too, even if the person doesn't necessarily not like you, they could just know you and be like, oh, well, I knew you from when you was 12, so like I'm not, for whatever weird reason,
something that you did at 12 years old. Exactly. And it's like it's too small of a state for all of that. I feel like the day where everybody just wakes up and says, you know what, let's try and help each other out. This CT would be an amazing place to be, man.
I feel like we're getting there though.
It's getting there. It's definitely getting there. I've been seeing it a lot lately. People being real supportive over.
You get a lot of support. I be seeing everybody reposting you, like.
Well, yeah, I also try to be just as supportive, if not more, myself, because that support goes a long way, and that's something that you don't want to lose at the end of the day. Because, like I said, it is a small state, and if you're not getting it here, if you live here, you have to get that support here first before you go anywhere. Because we're so small, if you're not getting support here, and it's like it doesn't matter who heard you once or twice, in any other state. You gotta get these connections that's here. You gotta spread out from there. You can't just go unless you were to just get up and move, and that's different. But if you're here and you want to work for it, then you gotta build that connection. You gotta build that platform for yourself here, and then take it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I feel that.
It's about preparing yourself for the best. So.
And I feel like even like being a small state and stuff, just being so connected to the other local states, it's like we definitely could pop off really easily as long as we all just, like you said, it starts here with the support and whatnot.
Exactly. And once we start supporting each other, then it's gonna be a beautiful thing, man. I can see it, Hopefully in the future, the support is where it needs to be, because there's a lot of talent in CT.
Yeah.
Whether it's sports, whether it's music, whether it's poetry, whether it's anything, anybody running for Congress, whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talented people in Connecticut, and I grew up with a lot of talented people, so I know that for a fact. So.
Growing up for you, would you consider that you were a popular person? Were you more low key to yourself?
I was popular.
Yeah. Do you think it's from sports or just in general?
Well, my parents were pretty popular when they were growing up. So I guess you could say pretty popular from birth. A lot of people know my peoples, and that led to me just growing up knowing a lot of people and stuff like that. So I played football growing up. I was pretty good. So I was pretty known for that. And around the time, I feel like I was just a regular kid who was really good at football, and everybody knew. You know what I'm saying? I didn't look at myself as the head honcho or nothing like that. I just looked at myself as like the football guy.
Yeah.
So that's really what it was all about. I would say I was known. I know more people knew me than I knew.
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
That's what I would say.
So then, you definitely were popular.
Yeah.
That's what I think popularity is.
Yeah, because people would come to me like, yo, what up, da-da-da, because they would know simply because of, my football skills. So that was a good feeling, just being able to know older people that knew you because you were just nice in football was pretty dope. So.
Would you say that you were also, good, with academics, too? Because you graduated college, so you couldn't have been bad.
Yeah, but college is college. I did what I had to do to get through that. But growing up in school, I would say I would have good years and I would have some bad years. My best year was probably senior year.
Really?
Yeah, because I had honor roll all 4 quarters. So,
okay.
Yeah, so for some reason senior year was just easy for me. I was understanding it. I was grasping all the concepts, so it was just boom, 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 boom. And out of here. Junior year was a pretty bad year for me. I tore my ACL that year, so I really didn't care about school after that. Sophomore year was alright, freshman year was alright. Started off good, but then slacked off. Once you get to high school, freshman year, you realize how much freedom you have. It's just like alright, you just start slacking, when sports is over and stuff like that. So that was really it. So I was back and forth. College was pretty scary. At one point I didn't think I was gonna make it, but we're here. So
make it through school or in life?
I just didn't think I was about to graduate. It got so hard, and then classes and stuff. I was in social work. I was in a social work program at one point, and I just remember the work was just bro, how am I supposed to know this stuff?
Yeah.
So I had to switch my major in the last second, but I had probably 4 more semesters, maybe 3 more semesters ago, so I was able to switch in time. But switching to sociology helped me because all the main courses you need for social work were the same classes for sociology.
Okay.
So I was able to transfer easily because I had all the prerequisites already done.
Yeah.
So I was able to graduate on time and stuff like that, and do what I had to do to get out of there. So that's basically my school journey.
Yeah. What's been the most challenging time in your life?
Man, it's a couple. I would say, life has its ups and downs here and there. You know what I'm saying? I feel like in life's goals, you can't really judge, stuff happens. So you can't really be like, oh, that one time really impact everything. Because, tomorrow something might happen. It might impact stuff. But I'll say the most impactful thing up to date, probably my relationship, with my father and stuff like that. We don't really talk, like we used to. So, yeah.
So were you guys close and then just fell off over time? Or went distant, I guess I could say.
When I was younger, we were very close, yeah. And then, something happened where we never really, sat down and talked about it.
Just swept it under the rug type of vibe.
Yeah, so, from there we try to, live on, I tried to live with him a couple times, back and live with him, for a year, a couple months. And then back with my mom and stuff like that, just going back and forth. Tried doing that for a couple years and, worked for a little bit until, I got older and, started developing my own, attitude towards stuff. And, I could guess that kind of clash because we're two, hot-headed people, you know what I'm saying? So when we argue, it's pretty scary. So when I got older, stuff just started going downhill from there. So, yeah.
Do you think it's reconcilable? I think that's the word, how you say it.
Yeah, but for the time being, I'm grown man now. So
Yeah.
I'm focusing on what I got going on right now. You know, I'm real like focused on what's going on right now and who's with me in my life now, who's helping me out, who's supporting me and stuff like that. I still have great family support, so falling out with the family and everything. So I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? As a grown man, you going, if you want to talk to somebody, you want to talk to them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. How are you and your mom?
Me and mom are good. Mom is mom. I don't know how your mom is, but my mom's a mom. She worries. She supports, but worries do support. But she's just real emotional and she gets like that. But my mom is cool. She's real cool. Still doing her thing, working, supporting my music.
I love that. That's the best part, because some moms don't be supportive of the music vibe. I don't know why. Or not even just moms, just parents sometimes don't be supportive of when people are making music, and I don't understand why. You could be doing so much more worse stuff.
No, that's the thing. Like, my mom's the type of person, and she doesn't really understand it. She's gonna support from a distance until she understands it more. So that's really what she is with my music. She doesn't really understand like the money that has to be spent. Cause why you not saying money? This. It costs money to do this. You gotta invest. You know what I'm saying? People want to, do stuff with you. You gotta pay money for it. You know what I'm saying? Where you want to get it done. So, I kind of had to have a talk with her one time and tell her like, this stuff that I'm doing right now that you may not understand. And that's fine, but if you don't understand it, I'm not about to keep trying to explain it to you. Like, this is what it is. I'm working towards a goal, and that's what it is. You gotta spend money. She's like, I understand. So, once we had that talk, everything's been okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Who would you say is your biggest support system right now? Whether it's one person or multiple?
My girl's really supportive of my music. And her sisters, like, they're really like.
Her and her sister or your sister?
No, her sisters.
Okay.
Yeah, her sisters are really like, they reposting everything before I even get a chance to.
I love that.
Yeah, so like there'll be times that like something get posted, like music wise, and I even see it, and I get up there, and she already reposted. I'm like, damn, like, so like.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, shout out there. She's real supportive of it. Every new song I got, whether I send it out to my friends or not, she hears it. Whether I try to hide it from everybody, I like to be real discreet sometimes with my stuff. I'm a believer in, not every genius let everybody know what they're doing until it's done. So I try to, be real discreet, but it doesn't happen. She's on it. She needs to know. She's a real. And she doesn't, she critiques me too. She doesn't let me, I like this. She lets me know, what she doesn't like and what could be better.
She's not a yes man.
Yeah, she's not a yes man.
Which is great.
Yeah, and she let me know about myself a lot. So.
Yeah. And that's good, because then you can actually get, like we were saying earlier, like the valid support,
the constructive criticism that you need.
Yes,
that Connecticut needs, not the mean criticism, the criticism that's gonna allow us to grow and build. So it's definitely there with her. So shout out to her.
Yeah. How long have y'all been together?
She's a minute. Yeah. We've been a little on and off. When we were younger.
Were y'all like high school sweethearts?
No. Because we got together my senior year. She's a year younger than me, so we got together my senior year. So by the time we really kicked stuff off, I was already basically, graduated for real. So, yeah. Yeah.
Do you believe in I don't know if this is the right question to ask right now, but do you believe in like soulmates and stuff like that?
Yeah, I believe in soulmates. However, I believe in if you just find the right person, that fits you, and then supports what you got going on, and all this other stuff. And I feel like that's really your soulmate for real. Because you could be, you could get with somebody and you feel like, oh yeah, this is the one, and then you realize, maybe you are soulmates, but maybe that's not a good thing. So you know what I'm saying? So I feel like you really just find that right person who connects with you and vibes with you the same way you vibe, you want to, or the way you want to vibe. Then that's basically it.
Yeah. What would you say is like one of your then versus now? So back then when you were like young Drizzy Drell, what was
Well, back then I was just Andrew for real.
Andrew, that's your real name?
That's my real name, Andrew.
Okay, I like that name. So what was a like big goal or like something you saw for yourself in your future when you were Andrell versus now what's something that you see for your future?
Well, back then, obviously, I played football, so, I wanted to go to the league and stuff like that. It was I had hoop dreams and stuff like that. So, I had a lot of injuries, as I got into high school that I feel like really, messed me up. And, in college, I was getting hurt like every year. So, so I have a real bad knee. I have 2 bad ankles. So, that counted out everything that I was dreaming for. So, that was Andrell's dream. So, for a while before I started making music for real, it really was like, what do I want to do with my life? And what am I, where do I see myself in 10 years? 5 years at that, from that point.
And what was that like? What did you think?
I didn't know. I just didn't know. And then even when I started making music, it just seemed like something fun that I was doing with my friends or whatever. And I just started asking myself like, what would happen if you really, took this serious, as if you was trying to, do something. So, I just started taking it more and more serious and seeing the results from that. So that, I don't really have dreams necessarily. I manifest a lot about what I want to do, specific things I want to do. I just want to take it as far as it can go. See how far it goes, and
sky's the limit.
Give it the best shot I have. So.
Do you have any reservations with music? Do you ever feel like, damn, I don't know if I could really do this, or anything like that, or it's just I got this? I feel like you got this, but I'm just curious.
Well, yeah, I'm at the point right now where I'm just telling myself that I got this, and wherever it takes me, I'm gonna go. So, I do plan on moving soon. I do want to move out
of the state.
Yeah, I do want to move out west, and explore my music journey out there and see where I can take it out there. It's obviously everybody knows a lot more connections and stuff like that. I'm just being real. So just take it out there and see what I can do with it then. And hope for the best and shoot for the stars. So.
Yeah. And when do you think that'll happen, or when do you want it to happen?
Shoot, when the right time comes, it's gonna be out.
Yeah. Would you say you're more of a spiritual or religious person, or both?
I would say more spiritual. Growing up, obviously more religion. Is what you were brought up around and stuff like that. But as you get older, you have I love God more than God. You just have more of your own way of looking at things.
Yeah.
That's not really taught from past generation, parents, stuff like that, stuff that they were taught, that's trying to pass down to you. I feel like now it's a little more different, and I feel like our generations, we have a lot more
we're open-minded.
We're a lot more open-minded to things, and we're a lot more we to ourselves when it comes to stuff like that, and we have a lot more of our own say. So I feel like I'm more spiritual, in that sense.
Yeah. When you were growing up and stuff, were you raised a certain religion, or did you go to
Christianity? Yeah, I was in church. The point where I was traveling with all the kids, on church trips and stuff like that. Surprisingly, I never did the choir, but we never really had one. So that was just our church. But yeah, I grew up in a church.
Yeah.
Yep.
And for your future, do you want kids? Do you want family?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want some kids.
How many?
I tell myself 4.
Ooh, that's a lot.
It is a lot. But I'll it depends on what I get. I need mostly boys.
Oh gosh.
So yeah, I need boys. So
yeah.
I need mostly boys, and if I get to 5 and it's is what it is what it is. But I want to cut it off at 4. It just has to be mostly boys.
Yeah. Do you want them to do football too?
I want to do whatever they want to do. Whatever they dream of doing, as long as it's positive, keeping them out of trouble. They're not in the streets doing nothing stupid. Then daddy got you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pay for that. So.
Yeah. Do you feel like growing up, you're whatever you wanted to do you feel like you were raised that way? Whatever he wants to do, we'll let him do it type of thing?
Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when it came to sports, yes.
Yeah.
But when it came to anything else, like let's say if I wanted to, you know, anything else that costs money for, I feel like it was a little cheap. Not cheap, in the sense like I not like I didn't have anything, but if it costs, if it was anything, if they felt like it was anything extra, then
it's just like no, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I want to give my kids the opportunity to actually do what they want to do, and get that feeling of actually just sacrificing and seeing the long term result.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
have you ever written poetry?
I mean, yeah.
Like, do you feel like what
kinda.
you do now is writing poetry?
Yeah, I guess I express myself a little bit throughout my music. I don't, I gave a little here and there. So I guess you could call that little poetry, but I never like raw poetry, no.
So you say you express yourself a little bit here and there. So in a full song, how much percentage is like real life you and how much is just creativity, music type of thing?
I could think of one song right now where everything was just real life. Everything I was talking about was real life.
What song is it?
I got this song called Plastic that I dropped probably like 3 years ago for real. Basically I was talking about everything that was going on, fake friendships and I talked about people who know me and people who got my back. People who say they were friends to me and did some snake stuff behind my back. I talked about all of that. I talked about people I grew up with, people who had my back growing up, relationship with my father, all that. So just to that song, you get a little bit of all that. I talked about fake people, like who claim to be something not. So it's all in there. A little bit of that is all in there.
So you said that was 3 years ago, and that's kind of when you first started writing.
Yes.
Do you feel like, or recording writing? Do you feel like as time goes on, you're kind of leaving out more of your personal life in your songs?
I feel like I'm vibing more, and whatever the beat throws at me, I'm just, because I could also write stories too. I want to get into writing actual scripts and stuff like that. So sometimes when I'm writing, I'm kind of just imagining, visualizing obviously it's made up. When I'm visualizing the situation, I'm just writing about it. So,
yeah. Have you ever been heartbroken?
Yeah.
Did you ever write about that?
A little bit, but it was so long ago. So it's like if I'm writing about a heartbreak now, maybe it's just me just trying to vibe with the beat and the flow and the tone of the song. But it was so long ago. I don't. I've wrote about it before, but I never really went into too much detail about it. So I leave that alone for it.
Yeah.
So,
have you ever written like journal entry type of things, like not necessarily a song, but I don't know,
like
just
goals and stuff like that?
No, well that too, but just like I don't know, just like okay, this is what happened today. This is how I'm feeling. Today.
Yeah, no, I never been on one to I never been into like really journaling like that. I've it's definitely been what's the word, recommended to me, and I never really just been like what, let me sit down and just write, because I don't really have a lot of time to sit down and just like open a journal and just journal my whole day, because my days are always just going.
So what's a typical day like in your life, or like what's your day like today?
Well, shit, today I actually kind of an off day. I work 2 jobs. So
yeah, you did say that.
I work in a warehouse, and then I work in a group home. So before, not too long ago actually, my days were actually I'll go to work at the warehouse, and then I'll get off around 6:30, 7 o'clock maybe. It's till the job is done type of job. So shifts could be later than expected or usual. So I'll go there, I get off around 6:37, and then I'll go to my group home job around like 10 o'clock p.m. And then I'll get off around 7 o'clock, 8, and I have to go back into my next job.
So like back and forth.
So back and forth for at least like 3 days out the week. And then there's days where I'm just working at the warehouse, and then there's days where I'm just working at the group home. Like tonight I'll just be at the group home.
Okay.
So Yeah, so whenever I'm not working for, I'm either doing a showcase or I'm trying to record something, or network with people. I've been real locked in on what I want to do right now. I haven't really had any time to even sit back and kick it with myself for real, because I've just been real focused on just stacking money and being able to do what I want to do. So yeah.
For someone who maybe wants to start rapping or start making music, what would be one of your pieces of advice for them?
I can cuss.
Yeah.
For anybody saying, if you have a vision and when it comes to music and you can hear it and you can jot it down, you can recite it, you can go in there, record it, and it comes out the way you envisioned it. What anybody saying, if you could envision something and it comes out the way you see it, then you already know you're doing something special. Because it's so hard to, anybody could just write music and oh yeah, this sounds tough, go in there, record it, and it sounds terrible. So it happens to everybody. It still happens to me to this day. There's some songs I make and I just scratch it because it's I'm not messing with it. But just keep working, keep recording. Book studio sessions by yourself. Don't always feel like you gotta have your friends at every studio session. Go to a couple sessions by yourself. Really find yourself when it comes to the music. Perfect your craft with no one else around, just you and your engineer. And that way, when you bring it around other people, you feel me? It's already perfected, and you're ready to display that to the world. But just keep going. You're gonna have times where you feel like you can't do that. You're literally in the studio. You're gonna have times where you're holding your head and it's this you want to dead it. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do it no more. Just keep going. That's all I'm gonna say. Just keep going. Promise you. Promise you.
How did you get to this place? Who you are today? What helped to mold you to be the man you are today?
Just life. Everybody go through stuff, and you live and you learn. You experience different people. You learn people. You know who and who not to be around, and you really just I really just try to set myself up in the best position possible in any circumstance that I'm in. I keep myself out of trouble. I don't try to do the most. I don't even go out like that anymore. And I just work and I just stay focused on what I gotta do. And that's really what it is. Just grind and get that work in. And just step aside from everything for a little bit and do what you gotta do, and then pop back out again.
Yeah.
So.
I like that you mentioned experiencing people, because that's something that I really believe in. I don't know when I started to think of things in that. Well, actually, I do. But at one point in time, I just started to think of stuff that way. Everybody is just an experience. We're all just here to experience each other. That experience may last a long time. It may be brief. It may just be this 1 hour interview, But I just feel like life is really just about experiencing people and things and just taking it all in for real. Not taking anything for granted.
Absolutely. I feel the same way.
Yeah. Have you lost someone that's really close to you? Whether it be transitioning to heaven or they're just not in your life anymore?
Both.
Do you feel like those situations altered your mindset or who you are as a person at all?
Absolutely. I've had some fallouts. I lost a couple. Family members and friends. To death and stuff like that. Rest in peace, my aunt Toya. She was probably the first death experience that really changed me at a young age, I would say.
Do you remember how old you were?
Yeah, I was 10 when she passed. I remember the day and everything. And that really hit me. Really, I could say from there I started, kind of just molding my own mindset towards life and stuff like that. And I would just say, not till recently, probably a couple of years ago, that's why I say, you experience people no matter how long you know them, how long you've been friends with them or not, it's an experience. That length of time is an experience. So, I not too long ago, I had some friends that, I felt like, were for lifers, and, as you get older, people, start believing in their own thing and stuff, and, ideas start to clash, and, sometimes it's for the better, sometimes it's for worse. Sometimes unfortunately, you have to just do what's best for you at the end of the day, and really just, like I said before, just set yourself aside and just worry about what you gotta worry about, and put yourself in the best position to do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
So.
When you lost your aunt, did you really understand what death was at that point?
By that time, yeah, but I never thought that I would have to experience it with any family member until I was older. That's one thing that, as a child, I could say maybe I did think about sometime, was cause you watch movies and you go to school, you hear people who lose family members, stuff like that, and my family just at one point just felt like nobody, death was impossible, and slowly, once my aunt passed, it was like you start really understanding how vulnerable as a human being you are in life, and how anything can happen at any moment, at any time. How you really gotta cherish the time that you have while you're here. Because my aunt was healthy. She just had real bad asthma, and it was a bad summer. So
she passed from an asthma attack?
Yeah, she had a real
crazy.
bad asthma attack on a hot summer day. So just like that, you could be here one day as healthy as ever, next day not wake up.
Yeah.
So yep.
How do you feel about death? Are you afraid to die?
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm a spiritual person. So obviously the physical part about death is losing your life, but I believe, we're here now temporarily, and after all of this is the real party begins, or the real story begins, you know what I'm saying? So what we do here is basically just I wouldn't say a test, but we're here to, walk God's earth, and follow his lead and do as he wishes upon us. That way, one day we can reunite back with him and, really live out our true life.
Yeah.
I would say. So.
Yeah. I love that outlook.
Yeah.
I asked you that because I don't really fully know how I feel about the answer to that question, so I like to just hear people's thoughts about it, and I like that outlook a lot.
So people, I feel like a lot of people have similar similar look on it. Some people obviously think differently. Like I said, it's whatever your heart feels, and I feel like truthfully, our soul never dies. There's always another place for our soul to go.
I feel that. So, I feel like this is a really great interview.
Awesome.
Do you have any last words for the audience, or anything like that before you give them your handles and all that good stuff? Actually, better question. What's a mantra that you live by in life? Something that you just say in life all the time.
Well, it's something I actually just started saying. So basically, people will call you selfish if you're to yourself, and if you're focusing on yourself, they'll call you selfish if they need you, stuff like that, whatever. And the way I look at it is I'm not scared to say no. I'm also not scared to say yes, but at the same time, I need mine to provide. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it as, if I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm taking care of my business, I'm gonna be able to do what you need me to do. But don't ask me to do what you need me to do, especially if I'm not taking care of mine, and then it's suspected to be like, oh yeah, he's stingy, or he's selfish because he's not providing for you. I can't even provide for myself. So I need mine to provide, and then, you feel me? That's really the mantra I live by now.
I need to start living by that mantra, because I feel like just as a woman, it's a lot harder for us to do that. We always just want to give,
Yeah.
even from an empty cup. So that's something, noted. Other women, y'all need to note that too. What is it?
I need mine to provide.
Period. And let the people know where to follow you, where to listen to your music, all that good stuff.
Feel me? You can follow me on the gram at Drizzy.Drell. That's DRIZZ.Y.
Close. He was close.
Close. That's DRIZZY.DRELL. In that order. So.
Mm-hmm. And where do they stream your music?
Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud. It's YouTube everywhere. Links in the bio. I just dropped a video to Intoxication.
I
you
saw
can check that out in the bio. So it's doing pretty good right now. So go check that out. So.
Yes. And as for us, follow us at TSO Pod on Instagram. Follow us on YouTube. Well, not follow. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at TSO Pod. I just made a Patreon. I'm going to be dropping details about that soon, but you can support the show through there. And until next week, you guys. Bye.
See y'all.